Good morning, everybody. My name is Nienke Klomp. I'm the coordinator of the NWA ORC 2022 round, and I will explain you in my presentation a little bit more on the specific call for proposals for this round. The purpose and the aim of this call is for, it's for research that is set up and carried out by interdisciplinary consortia. Please note that it says set up and carried out, so you need to work together to do so. Consortia span the full width of the knowledge chain, and you include relevant societal partners. Those can be public or private, and where necessary you can include citizens. Please be aware that you have to focus on the portfolio of the 25 routes and 140 corresponding cluster questions. Who can apply? Chapter 3 of the Call for Proposals explains you in detail who can apply. Generally, consortium consists of a main applicant. He or she submits the application on behalf of the consortium. There are always one or more co-applicants. There are always one or more co-funders. And you can also have one or more cooperation partners. Please be aware that all those partners should be present in your consortium. It's really working together. What can you apply for? Proposals in 3 bandwidths. Small, medium and large. The smallest being between 5 and 2 million euros and the largest being up to 10 million euros. The budget we are talking about is the contribution of NWO to the project, so the total project can be larger. There's no predetermined allocation of budget ranges, so the 106 million euros that is available for this call is not set into one of those 3 ranges. However, we aim for a similar granting rate for all budget ranges. The costs that you can apply for are quite wide. Of course, personal material, including citizen science, investments, knowledge utilization, internalization, money follows cooperation, and program management. Be aware that program management is mandatory for all projects. You can find more on all those cost modules in Chapter 7 of the Call for Proposals. When do I apply? We have 3 phases and therefore 3 deadlines. Please be aware that you have to register your initiative before February 1st. Your initiative consists of a very short pitch of your research ID of 300 words. You can find the place to register your initiative on the website of NWO. Please go to the funding page of this Call for Proposals. Step 2, prepare. You will find the link over there. You can hand in your initiative either in Dutch or in English, just what you prefer. After that, there will be matchmaking sessions. They will be held around mid of end of March 2022. They're mandatory. As main applicants, you can attend those matchmakings. If you are not able to attend it, please send a representative of your initiative, as it should be present at those matchmaking sessions. After the matchmakings, you can further prepare your pre-proposal and hand it in before June 9th. And the full proposal should be handed in around on January 24th. I will explain more about full and pre-proposals in the following slides. Be aware that you only can submit pre-proposal if you have registered an initiative and attended the matchmaking sessions, and be aware that you only can hand in a full proposal if your pre-proposal is considered by NWO. So you have to follow all those 3 steps. What's important for you? The initiative phase is mandatory, and we will make all those initiatives that has been handed in publicly available on our website after the deadline. This allows you, this allows networking. Because initiatives can be found online and parties that are lacking from your consortium can be found or recognize themselves in those initiatives. The matchmakings are also mandatory. Why? We want you to meet the network within the routes. What's your place? What's your position? What's happening there? To get familiar with that route, with the cluster questions that are relevant to it, and if applicable, the knowledge or research agenda that is developed within a route. To support consortium formation, not all consortia are complete when initiatives are registered. Parties are really welcome to attend matchmaking sessions if they want to contribute to consortia, and you can receive them over there. Furthermore, and to state once again, you can only submit a pre-proposal if you have attended the matchmaking sessions and submitted an initiative. To the pre-proposal, what's important there? Even though we ask you to do quite a lot of work, because writing a proposal with a consortium is a tough job. It takes time, it takes effort. We try to keep it relatively light, however. You do not need to hand in a budget at that moment, only indicate the budget range where you want to apply. And we also don't ask you to hand in support letters from your co-funders. However, you have to explain how you work together with all the indicated parties on your consortium list. So that remains a task, but we do not ask you to hand in those support letters. Be aware, support letters will be asked from you in the full proposal phase. How to prepare your pre-proposal? I'm not going to repeat the top sentence in the red box. However, make sure that at least one of your cluster questions on your pre-proposal is comparable to what you have handed in at the initiative. If you want to send it in, of course, complete the pre-proposal form. It will be available from February onwards to you. Complete the mandatory attachment, which is the written approval from the competent body submitting a pre-proposal. That's quite a mouthful. We provide you with a template for that. And please do so before June 9th. How to prepare a full proposal? Of course, you can only hand in a full proposal if your pre-proposal was admissible by NWO. And make sure that the main applicant, the NWA route, the cluster question and budget range are similar to that on your pre-proposal. Hand in the mandatory attachments as well. A budget sheet, of which a template will be provided to you. A letter of support from all of your co-funders. We also do provide you with a template for that. And also a response form that replies to the advice of the assessment committee of the pre-proposal. Because pre-proposals will get an advice. I will come to that later. And if applicable, there are 3 other attachments you should hand in as well. Please prepare your pre-proposal before January 24th. How does our assessment or selection committee work? Assessment committees will be organized in clusters of comparable routes that fit together. Each cluster consists, therefore, of proposals within a similar budget range. The assessment committees are knowledge chain-wide, as are the proposals within the NWA. So it are not only people from universities, but there are also people from universities of applied sciences, from private partners, societal partners, NGOs, companies. So be aware that the assessment committee consists of a very wide range of people. And to state it once more, we aim for similar granting percentage in each budget range. There is a stepwise assessment procedure to reduce the amount of proposals after each step. Because we ask in every step a little bit more work from you, it would be fair to reduce the amount of proposals that do that huge amount of work. Pre-proposals will be assessed against two criteria, which will be the alignment with the objectives of the NWA ORC program and the scientific importance of the proposed project. In Chapter 4 of the call for proposals is exactly described how those criteria work. In the pre-proposal phase, the committee assesses your proposal without consulting referees. The assessment of the committee will result into an advice on your pre-proposal that can either be positive or negative. In your full proposal, you have to reply on this advice of the committee. Full proposals will be assessed against two criteria. Once again, the alignment with the NWA ORC program, but also the quality of the consortium will be assessed because you have your consortium complete in the full proposal phase. And also the quality of the research proposal because it's about science as well. The committee assesses your full proposal and now referees will be consulted. You are allowed, or you get the opportunity to rebut to the comments of the referees. And the rebuttal is also taken into account by the assessment committee. The assessment committee will select a range of consortia that will be interviewed. And those who will get on interview, well, some get a rejection, but some of them will get good news and can start their research. So once you, until you make it until the phase of the interviews, well, how does it work in the timeline? We're now on the left side of the timeline, just before where you have to hand in your initiatives. In March, the matchmaking sessions. In June, the deadline for submitting your pre-proposal. In the summer period, our assessment committee will prepare the advices on your proposal. In October 2022, we will send every one of you the non-binding advice. And you have to prepare your full proposal before January 24th. In March 2023, be aware that you have the opportunity to rebut to the referee reports. So reserve some time in your agenda for that. In May, there will be interview selection meetings, and the interviews will be conducted in early June 2023. Those of you who get good news on granting of their proposal will get that in early July 2023. One specific part of the proposals is about knowledge utilization. And how does NWO define knowledge utilization? This pretty blue sheet notes down how NWO defines knowledge utilization. It's the utilization of knowledge through productive interactions with targeted stakeholders to create societal, which includes economic value. How does this work for the NWA ORC? As already explained, the ORC focuses on innovative, demand-driven research with the aim of realizing scientific and societal breakthroughs. A breakthrough is defined as a change that takes place either in science or society. And a societal breakthrough, to be more specific, involves cultural, economic, industrial, ecological, or societal changes resulting wholly or partly from knowledge and skills generated by research. The 140 cluster questions have different focuses. Some of them foster societal change. Other ones are more onto gaining knowledge. Therefore, two approaches apply. The impact plan approach for those cluster questions that focus both on scientific and societal breakthroughs. Or the impact outlook approach for projects that do not focus directly on societal change because of its nature. However, we ask you to stay alert on societal breakthroughs there, because they can be there if unforeseen opportunities arise. Some of the breakthroughs you aim for will lie beyond the project duration you aim for, because you simply cannot reach that change within 4 years, but it can be reached beyond the duration of your project. To make it clear to you, NWO does not have a preference for either impact plan or impact outlook approach. However, it should fit your proposal. And all projects should show productive interactions with researchers and stakeholders that are involved with your proposal. The approaches, whether it's impact plan or impact outlook, should be helpful to you to realize those breakthroughs you aim for. How do we assess knowledge utilization? Because if it's important, you want to know how it's assessed as well. In your pre-proposal, you indicate whether you as a consortium aim for impact plan or impact outlook. Please substantiate this, because it's simply not enough to only say impact outlook dot. And the committee also assesses your substantiation and the justification for your approach and can advise to pick one of the other approaches. In the full proposal, of course, you can react to the advice of the committee if they advise you to change the impact plan or impact outlook approach. You have to develop your approach further into your full proposal. That's quite a job. And therefore, online workshops are available at impact.nwo.nl. Follow those workshops with your whole consortium. They're really, really useful to take. Both approaches have different elements, and therefore different application forms will be available to you for the full proposal phase. For the pre-proposal phase, only one form will be available, because you only need to substantiate your choice, and that's it. How does the impact plan approach work? As I said before, impact plan approach applies for proposals that pursue both scientific and societal breakthroughs. It's important to achieve those societal breakthroughs and change, even though that can lie beyond the duration of your project. Your proposal should describe how research processes can contribute to societal impact. You take into account underlying assumptions, the context and parties that are involved. You have to visualize the proposed changes that result from the research. And specific activities are needed. For that, of course, you should budget them and specify them in the budget module. Impact outlook approach. That's quite a full sheet of information. Impact outlook approach applies for projects that pursue scientific breakthroughs and therefore are meant for cluster questions that are focused on gaining knowledge. They're not primarily aimed at achieving societal impact or change. However, you should be aware of foreseen and unforeseen opportunities on societal area that can also arise during the project. So even though you're focused on the scientific breakthroughs, you should not forget the societal breakthroughs. You are allowed to up to 50% of knowledge utilization without further specification for activities to identify and exploit those unforeseen opportunities. Because they're unforeseen, you can also not predict what the exact cost will be. So that's why they remain unspecified there. This will bring me about to the end of the presentation I was giving today. If you want to have more info on the roots and the cluster questions, the granting instruments of NWA in general, more information on the call, the impact plan and impact outlook workshops, please consult those websites. If you have any further questions to me, because they're on the call of today, please send me an email or call me. Thank you very much for attending.